Hello and welcome to Talking Good Games. Just finished West Ham United 1, Manchester City 3, the battle of the champions of Europe at the London Stadium. The Citizens won this one. Just want to say a quick thank you to Tom for the £2 super sticker there. Thank you very much, Tom. Gonzo, before we get into the game, actually, no, let's go into the game. We made it 1-0. We took the lead. James Ward-Prowse, what did you make of the game until it went 1-0 though?
Yeah, I mean, it was going as I expected. I got to be honest with you. I thought we were defending, and I thought we did. We had a little bit of a threat on the counter attack, but we needed so much luck and good play from the goalkeeper and from some of the defenders as well. Haaland wasn't playing well. He missed chances, I think, that he normally would have scored. So, but you're going to have that. You're going to have, to win the game against Man City, you're going to have to defend well. You're going to have luck. And you're going to have to counter attack, and and then there's other things which I'm sure we'll discuss later in the video. Which, if that stuff goes against you as well, it's just an impossible day at the office. But I thought at that point we were doing really well, and obviously I was, jumping all over the place when we scored.
Yeah, I think this is going to sound a bit weird, but I think we were riding our luck, but yet performing well. If it's possible to do both things, where I think, like you said, we're conceding chances to City. But it wasn't because we were doing anything wrong. It's just because City, and one player in particular, was so damn good. There's not much you can do. When those players turn up and they're playing at the top of their game, which one or two players were for Man City, it's hard to stop. You can only do your best. And we were doing our best. It's just that they were better than us. They had better players than us. But I thought we were doing okay. And like you said, I don't think we were offering much on the counter-attack, but when we did get the ball, there were a few players trying to get forward, and then we were looking good at our set pieces, which is promising. It was getting the set pieces that was the problem in the end for us, but we did make it 1-0 through James Ward-Prowse, and we sort of nicked the ball back, if you like. A very rare and poor touch from Doku, fell to Silva, who started off the attack, and then played James Ward-Prowse in, and can't finish, I guess you could call it.
Yeah, it was a Trevor Brooking against Arsenal, stooped-headed finish was what it was. Yeah, I mean, I'm in a foul mood, G. I've got to be honest, I'm in a foul mood. I think it's the I think it's the hope. I think it's that I thought we might win, so I think that's. I think had that have happened the other way around and we'd have scored, my mood might be different if we'd have scored last. But yeah, I feel it's weird. It's weird actually because normally we'd sit here and we'd appraise the game and whatnot, but it definitely feels a little bit odd, to lose in that way when there's been a glimmer of hope during the game, and then there's a sort of a sobering aspect to it, which is actually they're just so much better than we are. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, it's weird actually because it actually seems like quite a long time ago. James Ward-Prowse scoring that goal bizarrely, but it was it was a delightful goal, and I was full of hope. But it just they allowed us a nice cup of tea at half time, didn't they? Basically, and then they sort of just killed our hopes after that, really.
I thought it was a fantastic goal, actually. As soon as that touch happens, that heavy touch happens, you'd forgive Sufal for getting the ball down and, giving it to Kurt Zouma or Gerd or Alvarez and saying, right, let's keep the ball now. But he gives it straight into Jared Bowen and moves. Bowen gives it straight back to him. And then he gets his head up. And listen, we are quite critical of Sufal and his delivery, and rightly so, I think. But that was superb. It was on the money. So there you go. Like, dinked it in toward Prowse. You could see him. But seeing him is one thing. Can you deliver it? He delivered it as well. And it was very calm from him. We've seen Man City players who have exceptional talent, but they were lacking that composure and that calmness in front of goal today. And I thought it was a superb goal, actually. Just really quick. We got the ball on the halfway line. A handful of seconds later, it's in the back of the net against the best team in the league. I was absolutely buzzing with that. Well, this is what we need to do. This is fantastic. It's still counter-attacking football. You don't always have to be in your 18-yard box defending in order to spring a counter-attack. You can do it like we did. We got him, bang, off we went, straight down that right-hand side. And, the deliveries, sort of chances for us today were few and far between. So when you got an opportunity like that, you had to make it count. We made it count. I thought I was absolutely delighted with that goal. Actually, that's the type of football I can enjoy watching a lot. And Ward-Prowse, 2 goals and 3 assists in 5 games. And I keep thinking it's going to stop, but it just continues. And he was unlucky not to get an assist. We'll get onto that later on. But we went in 1-0 at half time, Gonzo. Is this why you're grumpy? Because when you said you were grumpy, I thought, hang on, I'm not grumpy at all here. So this is where we're going to be slightly different.
Yeah, 100% it is, Geo. I've got to be honest, but I've to be absolutely fair, as you know, I've had quite a stressful morning and stuff like that. So I've had other things going on anyway. So I was sort of already in a grumpy mood. I think that the problem was, the problem was, I allowed myself to think about being top of the league. So I'm my own worst, and I did. So I'm my own worst enemy, really. And I started doing it, and I started calculating in my head what I was going to text. What I was going to text to my mate who's an Arsenal fan and stuff. Anyway, so I think I got carried away with myself, really. And I actually thought at that point we can see this out. I really did. As deluded and crazy as I may be, fortunately, I'm not so silly that I fired off that text message, by the way, just so as you know. I'm a little bit older and wiser than that anyway. But I think it was that. And then there was a whole load of other stuff that sort of happened within the game, which I think I feel to myself, I've got no right to be. We did so many things right. It would be mean of me to concentrate on the few things we did wrong, because you suffer that much pressure. You're going to make mistakes, and actually, you know what? By that time, we start to go down. And look, I mean, you can discuss the goal in a minute, but do you remember I made the joke about the substitutions in the build-up? I said, well, David Moyes will decide to make substitutions, then what they'll do. And I sort of made a joke and said, they'll stand there for 10 minutes before anything happens. And you know what? I was a bit grumpy about it, but that was just me being grumpy. He was perfectly within his rights to do that, because there were corners and Souček was on. It was the right thing. But by that time, I sort of peed off, and I was peed off with everybody, and peed off with myself, and peed off with Man City. And it was a little bit gutting, really, particularly. But I actually thought Soufal did remarkably well against such a good player. But there's no bigger, starker contrast than that guy Doku, who we wanted to sign. Of course, we can't sign him. Manchester City sign him because they're richer and better than us, so they get him and we don't get him. And yeah, it's just a bit of a shame, really, isn't it?
Before we get on to the second half, just want to point in the direction of our new merchandise over at Hammers Chat. We got a delivery. We've got 5 new mug designs, including these 2. They're all based on us winning the Conference League that night in Prague. So this is my favourite one there. It says champions on the mug with Prague, with the players in the background celebrating. Then we've got a classic design, very similar classic design there. So there's 5 new mug designs, and we've got a new coaster. It's a Paulo Di Canio coaster. So you fancy getting yourself some Hammers Chat merch, head over to hammerschatstore.com. Links in the description below. Gonzo, 50 seconds, well, less than 50 seconds, 47 seconds after the restart, City made it 1-0. City made it 1-1. And we don't normally talk about opposition players when we do the review, because we're West Ham fans, we're biased. But my word, it's been a long time since I've seen a player rip Soufal apart like that. I know you said you thought he did quite well. I thought he struggled a lot, and I don't blame Soufal. Just Doku. We got linked to him, and we never really believed it, because we thought there's no chance. He's too good for us. And I think today he probably showed that why he's gone to Man City, because wow, there's debuts, and then that was just quite something from Doku, and that goal was exceptional.
Yeah, I say he did well, because really on other days he'll be coming away with 2 goals and 2 assists. I think that's, you know, he managed to get some tackles. By the way, that's I just think he had the toughest job on the pitch. Soufal.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, 100%.
And I think he can probably hold his head high after that game. Actually, got turned inside out for the goal, really, didn't he? Yeah, I mean, a magnificent player. There's only one person more grumpy than me today, and that's going to be Jack Grealish, I think. So you know, that was an impressive performance, wasn't it? And yeah, I mean, they've done it again. They've done it again there. And your man, and there was talking in the build up to the Man City game, a Man City fan, he was talking about the business that they've done, and they have lost big players. I think the thing is, match-winning players. That was part of the problem, really, that they've lost there. But you know, by bringing in somebody like that, they've given themselves a real threat. And you know, and let's be fair, that's seeing him there on that side. Let's not rule out what he could do. Whether, you know, he could probably play on the other side as well. Then whip some really dangerous first time crosses in for Haaland as well. So yeah, I mean, it really. It's hard to say the difference between the two teams because they did have an awful lot going on there. But yeah, he was wonderful, very, very good player.
I don't blame Sufal for their goal. I think there's only so much you can do here, because if you block off him going on the inside, he just goes down the outside and whips that cross in, which we've seen him do, and he's incredibly unpredictable watching. You don't know what he's. Every time he sized Sufal up, you didn't know if he was going to go, because the first couple of times he went on the outside of him, and then bang, he caught on the inside. Then the next move, he's playing it inside. I think it was Guardiola maybe made the run. He just played it in, and he's like, hang on a minute, this guy's got everything in his locker. That goal is just ridiculous. He doesn't even give himself half a yard. It's not even half a yard he gets. He gets a bit. He gets one touch, flick, bang, goal. And I don't think Sufal does anything wrong. You know, I think it's fair for Sufal to expect Zuma to have that covered or someone to be blocking off that shot. So I don't really blame Sufal for the goal. I just think it was an outstanding individual effort from him. And this is why, when you play City, I know people will like hearing this, but sometimes you do just have to shrug a little bit and go, well, nobody else in the league's got a winger that's going to do that to us. Maybe one or two, but there's not that many players that good. And I think it's the same for their second goal, but I do think a large part of this is down to the substitution. I mean, we waited 10 minutes for it, but I have to be honest with you. Do you know, you said at halftime you were starting to believe a little bit. Yeah. I didn't, because I always felt the City goal was coming, and I thought we were riding our luck in the first half. However, I will confess, when I saw Antonio and Souček going off and Kudus and Benrahma come on, I thought, hello, here we go. This is something from Moyes. I got excited, but within the same thing, it disappeared because Alvarez went off and Souček remained on the pitch. Okay. So my excitement only lasted for a handful of seconds. But they did make it. We'll talk about the subs at the end of the game, Gonzo, but they did make it 2-1. Bernardo Silva. Tony Gale was quite critical of the defending from Aguerd / the goalkeeper from Areola. How did you see this one?
Well, he completely mistimed his jump. Completely mistimed the jump. Yeah, he was going down when he should have been coming up. You know, it was. You know, I hate to say it because he's become a bit of a West Ham cult hero, but he did a Carlton Cole jump. Unfortunately, you know, he just missed sight. Basically, he was going in the wrong direction. He jumped, but you should jump. But he was going in the wrong direction, and just missed the flight of the ball actually. And yeah, it was. I mean, it was a shame. It was a shame because he just done and this is what I mean. I sort of trying to clip my own wings here in terms of, you know, it's easy to pick on individual people, easy to pick on the manager and stuff like that. But you know what? Aguerd had made a clearance off the line. He'd just done a beautiful 60-yard ball, which set us on a lovely attack with Sufal as well. There's a concentration issue there, Geo. But yeah, the thing is, there's such small margins in these games against City. City are going to beat plenty of people 3-1. And I think we're a good team. I actually do think we're a good team. I really do. So I don't want to go too heavy on it. And I think I'm just a sore loser, you know. And that's the truth. That's the truth of the matter, mate. And today it's football. You know what? Last night it was Monopoly. I'm just a sore bloody loser, quite frankly. Yeah, it was a shame, that goal. It was a shame, but it was a defensive mistake. And then I thought. And again, I sort of wanted to sort of criticise Areola because it's a little bit flappy, but he wasn't to know. He just would have expected that header to. He probably thought, what the hell's happened? What the hell's happened there? It was a bit like that, really. But that would have been a surprise to him as well. And let's be fair, Areola had a bloody amazing game, really, didn't he? So, yeah. What can you do?
I don't blame Areola at all. I think Aguerd, he's not unlucky because he misjudges it completely. He thinks he can head it, and he's nowhere near it at the end of the day. It's not even like it skiffs his head. He's nowhere near it. He's at, when the ball crosses his head, he's at the top of his jump. So he's leaped correctly, and he's arguably timed it. He's just nowhere near it. And with hindsight, he'd have been better off just following Silva and physically going for a little battle and letting Ariel come and collect it. But I'll be honest with you, the more times I see it back, the more I just think it's just City. Alvarez doing that scoop ball, just the movement of Bernardo Silva. There's not many teams in the league that have players that can do that, that even try that. Who tries that little scoop that Alvarez does? Not many teams do. And Silva's movement's fantastic. And in the end, I just thought, it's frustrating because we defended relatively well. Ariola was being superb, and he continued to be. But it's just one of them goals where I think, is it just down to how good they are? Is it because we no longer have Edson Alvarez on the pitch? Would he be occupying that space that Bernardo Silva's now just ran into? We don't know, but it's just frustrating to get a lot of things right. And then it feels like an easy goal to concede. But actually, I think there's just wonderful craft in what Julian Alvarez did there. And the movement from Bernardo is just exceptional, really. They made it 3-1 in the end, but before Zuma had a chance though. Ward-Prowse corner, Zuma header, fantastic save from Ederson, a few more top saves from Ariola. They made it 3-1 through Haaland, but I think by that point we knew it was coming. Gonzo, City's third, but also Haaland scoring, because there's only so many chances he's going to miss, and there's only so many times Ariola is going to keep him out.
Well, yeah, absolutely, for sure. And it's not that they're good enough to beat us anyway. However, and they would have probably beaten us anyway. However, when you got refereeing like that as well, I mean, the linesman stopped us from taking a corner, for fuck's sake. Do you know what I mean? There was something really weird going on.
What I will say about that, actually, because in fairness, the referee did it to Man City. They had a corner before us, and Alvarez and Foden was over it, and the referee came over in the commentary, said, they're going to make sure the ball's in the quadrant. A, the ball was clearly in it. Yes. B, he didn't actually check the ball. He spoke to Alvarez, and Alvarez then ran away. So I don't know if maybe there's a rule that I'm just unaware of, which is they're not allowed to be off pitch, because Ward-Prowse ended up sort of putting a toe on the touch line and saying, look, I'm now technically on the pitch, leave me alone. So I don't know if they're stopping us teams having two players off the pitch looking like they're going to take a corner or something. I don't know what it is, but the referee did pull Man City up for the exact same thing. It's just that Alvarez then came onto the pitch.
He may well have done, but then the referee removed himself. What he didn't do was block one of the potential corner takers' run up. And the linesman blocks James Ward-Prowse's run up. Anyway, that in the bigger picture of the game, it probably didn't have that much. But we'd have a situation where they were allowed to foul and we weren't. And not only that, you then get Souček. I'm not suggesting Souček had a good game, but Souček got a card and he won the ball. And it wasn't dangerous. He actually won the ball. His foot went onto the ball, and he got the ball, and he got a card. You know, I mean, and that, so they were allowed to break up play and we weren't, and that's a hell of an advantage. I mean, a hell of an advantage, you know, to go on there. So I'll sort of start again. I didn't think he was a terrible referee. I thought there were times when he did let it go, but that started to really annoy me. You know, so then you see an injustice. You're probably looking. You've probably got a confirmation bias by that point. I'm looking for injustice, so I'm finding it. You know, but yeah, it was. Yeah, it was tough, but they're that good anyway. You're right. You can't expect Haaland's to keep missing, which he was, and obviously, yes, he is. He is such a good player. It's just, he just gets. I'm just sick of him. I'm sick of it. I don't even dislike him as a club. I don't dislike him. I like the manager. It's Arsenal, as you know. It's Arsenal I dislike. I'm just sick of the sight of him. Quite frankly,
I get that, because I refuse to get excited. Even at half time, 1-0 up, I thought, we're probably going to lose this game. This is where people can say negative. It's not negative. Well, it is, but I was also correct. But it's not necessarily anti-West Ham. It's just pro-Man City, and I don't like it as well, because you're sitting there thinking they're gonna win, because we did ride our luck. But anyway, let's do individual performers. Then we'll discuss the game a little bit, and then we'll wrap up with man of match. Take your pick, one or two West Ham players. What you've got to say about them?
Well, I thought Zuma was his normal excellent self. I'm sort of. Yeah, if ever, but up until the point he got into the foot race, if anything highlights that there is a man that he's just injured and will be for the rest of his career. That was it. That was it. Then it wasn't just he was slow; it was the limp, and he's had the limp now for 2 years. He's clearly carrying injury. It's remarkable the level of performance he can produce. It was more of the same. And this is the thing with the Gerd. He seems to have these problems, and Zuma doesn't. And that's the thing, you know. I thought, you know, Alvarez really liked his leadership. It was really good. His positional sense was great. But Ward-Prowse did relatively well in the slightly more advanced role as well. I thought Paqueta was exceptional, actually. I thought, there was some really good things to like about our performance. And I will say it again, I think we're a good team. I think that really was the problem, I think, there, because I actually thought, I actually thought if we can get something out of this, even a draw, I think I was actually it wasn't even that. I was looking so far forward. I think we can get something against Liverpool as well. I thought, so I thought, oh, hello, we're on for it. Oh, it's silly stuff.
To be fair, Liverpool weren't great today. In the first half against Wolves, they were not good.
No, I think we can get behind them, but but anyway, it's that silly thing, it's the drill day, so to have a little dream, don't you? And then of course you get like slapped across the face by a wet fish, and it's the reality of the situation. We had many good performers, I think, Gio. I do, and I think the only way we could have won the game was the way we played. Really, I don't think there was another way for us to win the game. I would have liked to see more from Antonio at the start of the game. I thought he was deployed a bit too deep.
He was poor.
I
do not know. Honestly, I was glad he came off. In the second half, he looked like he couldn't be bothered. There's twice the ball went near him. In fact, one of them led to a chance for City. Rodri sort of just went past him, and he sort of went, and he just left him. And Rodri kept on travelling with it, and ended up City having a shot off the back of it. He just looked uninterested. Honestly, I was relieved to see him come off, which is. That's something I find myself saying often about Antonio. Usually he's up for this game. He enjoys the battle. But that time, that pass I was talking about when Doku slipped someone in, I'm sure it was Guardiola, but I could be wrong. Antonio stood next to him, and Bowen went over to help Soufal, and they doubled up on Doku, so he couldn't move. So the only thing he could do was pass. Because Guardiola made the run, Antonio just watched him. He just watched him run into the 18-yarder, didn't track him. The ball got slipped in, and that's the one that got hit across the face of the... That's the one that got hit across the face of the goal, I think, and Haaland was at the back post and missed it, and he should have scored. I thought Antonio was really bad today. But listen, there was quite a few good performances. I thought Kudus looked interesting when he came on. That was something that I was quite hopeful for. A tough game for him. But there was three outfielders that stood out for me, which is probably going to give my man a match away. I think I agree with you. I thought Paqueta was class. I thought Paqueta was unbelievable today. I absolutely loved watching him play. Second half, Walker played centre midfield a lot, and I'm convinced that was to stop Paqueta getting on the ball, really. I think Pep would have said, look, he's not even coming down that left-hand side, so there's no point having the right back. Get in the middle of the pitch and stop him getting on it, because he was making things tick for us. Whenever we did something good in the first half, he was there. Just drop him back in between the centre backs at times, but some of his passing, one touch, bang, out to people. I love watching him play football. Edson Alvarez, sometimes you don't know what you got until you ain't got it. That's the case today. As soon as Alvarez went off, we fell apart. We missed him massively. I thought he was brilliant. Referee mugged him right off booking him because Ward-Prowse did the foul. Aguirre picked the ball up and ran away, and he went and booked Alvarez for it. And you can see Alvarez, and I haven't even done anything. So the referee mistook Alvarez for Aguirre, but it was Aguirre that actually picked the ball up and he ran 5 yards within, dropped it. But that's a yellow card in the league this year. A bit silly from Aguirre, but if any team's going to try a quick freak against you, it's probably City. But Alvarez got booked. And from that moment on, I thought, hang on a minute, our defensive midfielder's now been wrongly booked here. What's he going to do? He can't. He's now shackled for the rest of the game. He's going to have to watch what he does because the referee has booked the wrong player, and that irked me a lot because I thought it's not even an easy thing to get wrong. How have you possibly? Aguirre picked it up and ran away. You could see his number. The referee could see the number on his shirt. So how he's got that wrong, I do not know. But Alvarez shouldn't have been booked, and he was, and that takes your defensive midfielders tackling thing out of the game.
Can I just say, while you're on it, because I actually forgot, and there was a point during the game where Julian Alvarez picked up the ball and moved it 5 yards further back to stop us taking a free kick, and there was no card. And this is exactly what the point.
And the last outfielder I'm going to credit, Emerson. I thought Emerson was really good today. I'm really warming to him, Gonzo. I was underwhelmed by this signing. Last season, I was a bit suspicious. I thought, he looks good in European football when we've got a lot of the ball. Let's see him defensively suspect. Today, I thought he played well, got forward really well. He was unlucky with that chance that got deflected out for her. But twice he got the ball and just ran through the middle of the pitch. Here we go. Someone with a little bit of cojones that's not afraid to run at Man City. And the first one he ran, I can't remember what happened in the first half. It led to Ward-Prowse having the shot, which he probably should have played bowling in, but it was really good play by Emerson. In the second half, the shot was deflected and it might have went out for a corner, but really good play from him both occasions. Untested defensively, City didn't really come down that side, but I thought Emerson looked good, so I was pleased with that. Anyway, any final words from yourself, Gonzo, about the game? And can I get your man of match, please? I've got a feeling.
Yeah, but you're right about Emerson. Yeah, I forgot about Emerson. Actually, yes, it was really good. He set up just before James Ward-Prowse scored. He should have scored before that, and he had a really tame, weak shot. But it was Emerson that set him up with a really good dribble. Emerson was very good today. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Thank you for pointing that out. Areola, man of the match.
Yeah, Areola for me as well. And this is where I have a slight concern. I know it's Man City, but that's the second game. We've played 5 games. It's the second game now, giving Areola a man of the match, which tells you something, which is your keeper's getting battered. He's having to do a lot of saves. Pep today will be wondering how his side didn't score 5 or 6. We rode our luck. And while I think we played relatively well, we weren't superb. And there's a lot of positives to take from today. But I don't feel like we've been stitched up. 3-1 City. I feel like it's a reflective scoreline. I feel like we did well at times in the game, and I'm not downbeat. I'm not feeling angry or upset or anything. I'm actually looking forward to the next. We've got the game on Thursday. I'm looking forward to going to Liverpool.
Yeah.
And there was things from today I can take from it, thinking, all right, here we go. I can get behind this. But ultimately, City deserve to win, and our keeper's the man of the match again. So I think because I thought we'd get beat and we've got beat, I can probably take it on the chin a little bit more. Expect nothing, can't be disappointed and all that. But yeah, there's been some good performances today. It's just one of them where I wish we could have seen us play with Alvarez, Paqueta, Ward-Prowse, and then Kudus, Bowen, and Benrahma, like he wanted to, like Moyes tried to. And I will give Moyes credit for that. Although we didn't see his plan, he had one.
Yes, he did.
And it was 1-1 at that point, and he decided I'm gonna go for it. He went for it. Moyes went for it. Benrahma and Kudus on with Souček and Antonio. That was a positive substitution, but unfortunately, Alvarez had to come off, and that's when we fell apart defensively. But there was something there, and I thought fair play to the manager. He's going for it, but his hands were tied a bit with Alvarez coming off. But this is why part of me thinks this is why probably shouldn't let. Maybe we should have took Kerr on. Maybe the substitution should have been. No, Souček, you're still coming off. I'm going to put Kerr on defensive midfield now. Maybe, I don't know, hindsight and all that. But I'm not too downbeat. But just a bit. Looking forward to the next one, Gonzo.
Yeah.
Rode our luck, but somehow played okay at the same time. Anyway, myself and Gonzo leave there. If you've enjoyed this review of the game, please do drop a like on it by clicking thumbs up under the video. If you're new to Hammers Chat, please do subscribe. And if you fancy getting yourself some new Hammers Chat merchandise celebrating that win in Prague, go to hammerchatstore.com. Links in the description. Myself and Gonzo, catch up with you in a bit.